on our platform, we have put in a AI agent on top of the data that we are able to collect from each and every single battery. So today, for a typical battery pack, we are able to understand exactly what is the cell level dynamics that is happening within the battery pack. So every single cell level data is being collected, and if in case there are any anomalies, we ourselves are getting to understand before the customer complaining that this battery needs maintenance. So we are able to do a predictive maintenance on our battery packs, and that ensures that the downtime for a customer becomes zero.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Founder Spotlight series from Tracxn, where we invite various startup co-founders to share their journey, some sort of insights and advice for the youngsters who have startup dreams. Well, today with me is Mr. Faizan Ahmed, who is the founder of EzyEV Technologies. Hi Faizan, how are you doing today?
Hi, Zubair. I'm doing very good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for making some time out of your busy schedule, and I welcome you on behalf of the entire Tracxn family.
Thank you so much.
Uh, my name is Sapan Dasgupta, and I'm heading the startup vertical over here. Now, let's get started with the interaction now. Yeah. To start with, we would love to visit your background and what made you start and think about EasyEV and what is EasyEV all about?
Sure. So I have close to 2 decades of experience selling technology solutions to largest of the companies, largest of the businesses. I was with SAP for 4 years. I was with Oracle for almost 7 years. So I was always around business, always around technology as such. And while during COVID, when you understand that the entire convenience business was evolving, all these food deliveries, everybody was kind of ordering things at home. So I felt that why not develop something that is convenience to these guys who are actually delivering these like parcels and so and so forth things. Um, and there we felt that the unit economics for all these quick commerce companies would only function if the petrol prices are at a stagnant level, which effectively will never happen. And that is where we felt that if in case we electrify the entire fleet and come into a business where all these deliveries are typically happening via an electric vehicle, that is the opportunity, that is what we wanted to capture. We initially wanted to become a vehicle OEM, we wanted to become a service OEM, we wanted to manage the swap stations, the battery tech, everything in and around from an ecosystem standpoint. But then we felt ki the biggest hurdle is not the vehicle, the biggest hurdle is not the services that are happening. Primarily, somebody at a retail level does not understand what the battery tech is all about, and there are so many breakdowns, there are so many challenges of charging time, downtime, and so on and so forth, because of which the experience of a delivery guy is always going down, and he will always be in the apprehension कि अगर मैं petrol vehicle लेता हूँ, so I am able to make all my deliveries. There are multiple places where I can get fuel, but the return of investments and earning potentials in a petrol vehicle is much lesser. But if I move to EV, I will have a much better earning, but then I will also have a risk of my vehicle breaking down. Charging downtime will come, and there are a lot of different challenges. So we felt that because of this anxiety, if we try and solve this with a good battery tech, operationally, execution is being done in such a way wherein a rider's life is as simple as to riding a petrol two-wheeler. So for him, if he's riding a petrol two-wheeler, he reaches to a gas station, he puts in the petrol, and he just keeps on moving. Typically 90 seconds to a max 5 minutes worth of halt. If we deploy swap stations from different places to places and automate the entire swap process in such a way where we are able to predict how the swap process will happen, what is the state of charge of the battery, when this swap is necessary for him. And in the mobile application, he's able to locate those swap stations and so on and so forth. So with that, the experience remains as similar or better than what he is using at a petrol station. Plus, obviously, the incentive of making more money by riding the vehicle and having less cost spent on the petrol or running operations of the vehicle. So that is how the idea of EzyEV came in, and that is how we kind of pivoted around the battery tech and battery swap stations as such.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, tell us this, anything specific that you are very much excited about in the next 12 months down the line?
So, so there's a lot of requirement. I mean, we as of today, the number of orders that we have and to the capacity of where we are supplying has a huge gap. So what is happening is there's a lot of pull coming in from the rural cities to all these urban cities, and these people are getting into fleet management, fleet deliveries, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of demand coming in. We were earlier expecting that within a year we will reach to close to around 2,000 batteries under management, but we are currently sitting with a pipeline of more than 10,000, and we have done zero, absolutely zero spend on marketing. We haven't even done a typical publication where we have paid anything to anybody. All of this revenue, this opportunity that we are discussing, this is all coming in via references from our existing customers, from riders, from different companies. So as of now, as I said, zero spend on marketing, but the pipeline that we are sitting on for closure is 5x to our target.
Incredible. Very interesting. That's very interesting, right? Now, you see, over the last 2, 3 years, I would say, we have seen a great impact of AI in everyone's
Yeah,
ecosystem, right?
yeah.
Would love to understand from your side, from both operational point of view as well as from the product point of view, uh, how did you leverage AI in the last 1 year or so? If you can throw some light on that.
Sure, sure. So for us, a lot of development, the typical grunt work, we leverage AI, and from the perspective of writing codes for the software and so on and so forth. We leverage AI very extensively, but that is more around the grunt work. The intelligence layer that comes in place and gives us an edge is basically on our platform. We have put in a AI agent on top of the data that we are able to collect from each and every single battery. So today, for a typical battery pack, we are able to understand exactly what is the cell level dynamics that is happening within the battery pack. So every single cell level data is being collected, and if in case there are any anomalies, we ourselves are getting to understand before the customer complaining that this battery needs maintenance. So we are able to do a predictive maintenance on our battery packs, and that ensures that the downtime for a customer becomes zero. So our AI agent goes and sit on top of the entire data that is getting collected via the BMS, via the IoT of the battery pack, and it runs the entire anomaly test so that we are able to extract exact data of what is happening within that battery pack. If there are any anomalies, then the workflows get triggered for maintenance, for service, and so on and so forth. And we bring that particular battery down from a swap ecosystem, so that any customer who takes the battery is ensured that the capacity of that battery being utilized is 100%.
Got it. Got it. Uh, since I think you have started this journey in 2023, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah.
23,
So we
24.
registered
Right.
the company in 23.
Ha, ha.
Uh, at least for 1.5 year, we were just able to kind of study the market.
And that's very much essential, right? Before
Yeah,
we get started. Do you remember some of your initial days challenges when you
yeah.
just started, right? And you found them uh, quite difficult to get sorted. If you can share some of your top two challenges during that phase.
Oh, so I would say the topmost challenge is typically getting like-minded people to work for you. So in a startup ecosystem, you are always crunched with respect to throwing money to anybody and everybody in the market. So you are always wanting to crunch and use your funds with the most effective manner. Yeah. So what you typically do is you reduce the overall number of people, and expect the maximum output out of it. You expect that the return of work that is expected from all the resources that you would want to get it done, that is the highest at their level. Unfortunately, fortunately, getting the people with the right set of attitude, what you are thinking from the organization growth perspective, is the highest and the biggest challenge. And it starts from your co-founder. So I have a vision, I am passionate about the business that I'm doing. And then what happens is all my employees should be passionate enough, my co-founder needs to be passionate enough, so that we are able to kind of drive the entire business accordingly. And that is something that is of prime importance and the biggest challenge. So in my perspective, when I go and hire anybody, I feel that if the person is less qualified, if the person's skill sets are little lesser, but his attitude is right, so I am still able to kind of absorb him in my company, because skills can be taught. Attitude is something that he has to kind of build by himself. So this is getting the right resources, the most biggest challenge. I to all my, I mean, co-founders, founders, I would, and people, I mean, students and very young generation who would want to become founders going forward. One very simple piece of advice I would want to give them: uh, don't think that you will have a very exceptional idea, something of which will just kind of change the whole industry. The idea that you are thinking today, I am 100% sure with the population, with the skill sets that we have in India, there would be thousands more who would have similar idea.
Understood.
Execution is of prime importance. Focus on the execution of the business. Prepare your strategies in terms of execution of the business. Your innovations and everything else is basically an enabler of your execution. But if you're doing a lot of planning, a lot of development, and operations is zero, then I mean, only God can save you.
Very true. Very
Yeah,
true. So let's talk a bit about your current stage of journey that you are in as a startup co-founder yourself, right?
yeah,
Right now, just trying to understand your current priorities in terms of, let's say, fundraising, in terms of competitor research, in terms of product. Do you think these are certain things which are fitting into your scheme of things in another
yeah,
1 year down the line? If
yeah,
yes, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
just share
absolutely.
a bit.
So we
Yeah.
are already in process of raising funds for our next leap of journey. Uh, we have raised close to 500,000 right now, and we have been able to kind of deploy all our batteries. So we have deployed close to 650 batteries till date, and we are operational in three cities: Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur. And we are signing up contracts with all these existing customers, new customers, and so on and so forth, with a larger capacity of how many number of batteries and vehicles they would deploy in the next 12 months. And as I said, from a pipeline standpoint, we internally had a target of 2,000 units of batteries under management by December 27. 26th of June 2026, we are sitting with a pipeline of 10,000 batteries under management. So we are planning to raise a big pre-series A fund. 3.5 million is what we are looking forward to raise. We have had multiple conversations with VCs, family offices, ultra HNIs, and so on and so forth. Out of which we have soft commitments of $1.25 million, and there are conversations going on with some of the VCs. We expect that we will be able to kind of close this around in next 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Great to hear that.
yeah,
Interesting. So, this is a question which, in general, I ask most of the founders with whom I get into this podcast, right?
yeah,
The how well we can answer this together. The why, when and where to start fundraising, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of times you must have seen, right? A lot of founders, maybe they do a mistake by going ahead with fundraising just after starting the company, right?
Ah.
Ideally, that is not the right way to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unless you have a problem statement to be sorted out,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
Identifying the problem is the first level, right, to be
yeah,
crossed. If the problem is really legitimate or not, right?
yeah, yeah.
If the problem has its own value or not, right? So that's
Absolutely.
how it is. What do you feel as a founder yourself? The why, when, and where? How well we can answer these questions of fundraising journey?
So, I mean, I would say equity-based fundraise is the highest, it is the most expensive way of borrowing money from anyone. Debt is the easiest. Equity-based, I mean, you borrow money from anybody, give him equity, that's the highest return that you would typically end up giving him.
True.
So, fundraise should always be linked to a purpose, and that purpose should be able to define how much. Like, for example, when I say that we are raising 3.5 million, I know I have a 10,000 worth battery deployment of pipeline. So with this, I will be able to utilize that for these deployments and my organizational growth. So there are certain gates to it. There are certain whys to it with respect to what purpose you would want to deploy, what purpose you would want to execute, and so on and so forth. So you need to first identify what is the purpose of raising this fund. So, I mean, people in the industry, they feel, especially the youngsters, they feel that startup life is very jazzy. It is absolutely not. It is a battle every single day.
Absolutely.
Every single day, it is a battle. You have to fight your competition, you have to fight your employees, you have to fight yourself. You have to look back at your own career and develop strategies that you don't get demoralized. So
True.
there is a battle every single day, and within that battle, you have to basically identify what is the purpose of this fundraise, and based on that purpose, you will be able to define why, when, and what. So you'll be able to get all of these answers. So my perspective of anybody wanting to raise funds is first identify what is the purpose, what is the outcome that you are expecting after this fundraise. If you are able to answer this very clearly, then your why, what, and when, and how much is very easy to answer.
Absolutely. Now, linked with the same topic, right? I would love to ask you this: uh, for any youngster who is in his, let's say, late 20s, because I think you will agree with me that most of the startups these days are
Yeah,
being founded by people who are in their late 20s, right?
yeah,
Um, these days, we hardly see any, startup co-founders who are in their 40s or in 50s, right? That doesn't happen. The data,
yeah,
at least the data doesn't suggest as far as India is concerned, right?
yeah,
And what the data says every month, you see, only from India, if I go by the registration per month, it's over 500 plus startups which are getting registered every month from India. Okay.
yeah,
And out of that, 70% belongs to those people who are in their late 20s. That's what the
yeah,
data says. Okay.
yeah.
You being a person who is a very experienced person in the ecosystem, what suggestion you would love to give to a person who is in their late 20s, the do's and don'ts, and rather I would twist this question: what he should not be doing when he has started something on his own during
Uh,
late 20s? He should not be doing.
so I mean, anybody with the experience, you get to understand how a work gets executed. Anybody who is very fresh with 1 year, 2 years, 3 years worth of experience, uh, he does not understand how the largest of the companies typically work. The biggest difference between a startup and the largest of the company is that the largest of the companies define specific processes for executing a task. In the initial 1,000 days, even at a experience level like me, for me also, it was very difficult to establish certain amount of processes because I was working primarily into one segment of the business in the largest of the companies. I was managing business, but the technical aspects I was literally struggling. So I had to get my co-founder to define all those development level of processes. So you need to define all those processes to execute a task. And I would say, for anybody who would want to start any business, the biggest challenge that he would typically face is doing things randomly. And if in case I would want to advise to anybody, I would want to advise them that be in a very structured manner. Define what is your do's and don'ts, and based on that you can define your execution plan for every single aspect, whether it is software development, whether it is whatever deployment you would want to do, whether it is field operations and whatever. So you have to define process of execution every single at every single place, and that process will come with experience. There will be, I mean, you would define certain amount of process, but your team members would not execute it accordingly. So you have to believe in yourself in terms of executing those processes accordingly. So my advice to all these youngsters is, uh, don't do things randomly, कि किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया तो ये कर लो, कंपटीशन ने कुछ कर लिया तो ये बोल दो, इसने बाहर मार्केट में कुछ रिपोर्ट आ गया तो ये कर लो. Believe in your own process, believe in your own product, define the execution process and stick to it. You will be able to get results around it. So for people like me, Nikhil, my co-founder, we being experienced folks, we have more than like close to 2 decades of experience, each one of us. We have worked with companies like Oracle, SAP, Microsoft, Salesforce. These are the largest of the best working companies. And there we have understood what processes they typically deploy. And that experience we would want to inherit in our company, with all the resources that we hire. So the level of experience basically matters a lot. So again, going back onto the same topic, my one single advice to all these youngsters would be not to do things very randomly. Define processes, define a structured manner, and execute it accordingly. And believe in yourself. I mean, you've built up the whole company, you built up the whole idea. Believe in yourself with respect to what you would want to execute. Rest everything is noise. कंपटीशन क्या कर रहा है, मार्केट में कोई और आ गया, किसी और ने कुछ अनाउंस कर दिया, एवरीथिंग इज नॉइस. You have to first understand exactly what you would want to take this company to.
True, true.
Yeah.
Very well said. Great. Here comes my last question for the day. Since you have been recently onboarded to the platform of Tracxn,
Yeah.
how are you intending to utilize the whole platform to your benefit? We would love to hear that.
Yeah, so I have been an extensive user of Tracxn. Um, it has given me a lot of details about what our competition is doing, benchmarking ourselves against the competition, defining our processes, our growth plan accordingly. When I would want to go and talk to any of the fundraising company, I for sure know, based on the data that has been collated via Tracxn, the questions that they typically ask us, I have already prepared answers for those questions. So that data set and understanding gives me a very good clarity when I go and talk to any of my investors. So that way, I mean, Tracxn platform is helping us a lot.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's all from my side today, Faizan. It was wonderful interacting with you. Okay. And we would love to come back to you in 2027 again to cover up some more success stories around your startup, EzyEV. I wish you people all the very best to you and your entire team and crew, okay, for everything possible which you people can achieve, right? All the very best. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so much, Supay. And I'm delighted to be part of this podcast. Thank you so much for hosting me. It was lovely talking to you here.